He's absolutely right about that. I mean, he's always had the physical skills. He's always had the basketball. I mean, your basketball IQ is going to improve with age and with repetition. So his IQ is definitely higher, even though it was always high. But I think right now, he's not a kid anymore. He's a grown man. That's number one. Number two, and more importantly, he conducts himself like a grown man on the court in terms of being a leader. He's not as concerned with getting along and being as playful as he is with bottom line results. So I think that also contributes to his improved play and his improved stature as a player. Number three, he has, I don't want to call it the luxury, but the benefit of having lost and enduring and experiencing that pain. So the level of focus is definitely elevated. Number four, you got to look at him and understand that he no longer has that proverbial monkey on his back, where a championship has eluded him, where people are still questioning and wondering when is he going to capture that elusive ring. All of those things come into play to contribute to him being far more improved than he was back 5-6 years ago when he lost to the San Antonio Spurs. And, I remember that much because I actually, covering that series, I was standing right there when he walked into the room after Tim Duncan had just finished doing an interview with me, was when they walked in and met up with one another. And the conversation that they had, Tim Duncan had profound respect for him and told him he expected to see him back. So, and he knew he'd be back because he knew what kind of a player LeBron James would be.
But Stephen A. Smith, 50 times better than 07? In 6 years, he got 50 times better?
Well, I'm not going to sit there and say, I'm not putting a percentage on it. I'm just saying, Skip, that I'm thinking up here, not his skill set or whatever. But just think about it, Skip. I think I can convert you on this point. You, a lot of times, you didn't just lament his skill set, but your biggest problem with him was what was up here in terms of his approach. And so what happens is if you address your approach, well, yeah, fine. But if you address your approach, and this has been addressed, and this has been addressed, well, then that does go a long way. That does go a long way, Skip. If he's addressed it in here and in here, that does matter.
Okay, but if he's literally 50 times better than he was in that NBA Finals 6 years ago, then this finals will be over in 3 games. Not 4 games. It'll be a 3-game sweep because the Spurs will just have to quit after 3 games. It'll just be unfair. Stephen A., I will give you this. I know what the Spurs' game plan was in 07. Make him shoot outside. Force him. Dare him to shoot those jump shots. In that 4-game sweep, obviously, he was 4 for 20 from 3. LeBron James, 4 for 20. What I've given him the most credit for this year, Stephen A., he turned himself into a pretty good 3-point shooter. 40% all of a sudden. Wow, that's impressive. I still don't love seeing him shoot threes, although now I will since I'm picking the Spurs. But he shot from the field in that 4-game series 36%. Now it's an upset if he's under 50%. So I will give you that. I just thought it was a little outrageous to go, I'm 20, 40, 50 times better, to the point where that's almost bulletin board material for my Spurs. I think they will all be stroking their chins on that one. 50 times better, huh?
Yeah, but it's unfair. Well, listen. Well, first of all, I'm quite sure he didn't mean to be taken so literally because in the same sentence he said 20, 30, 50. So clearly he's indecisive. He's just saying I'm better. We don't mean, my goodness. I mean, you don't have to take it so literally. He's better.
But wait a second.
That's all he was trying to say.
Whoa, hold on. You didn't have to sit in this chair back in 07 after, remember the greatest game ever played? What was it, 5 against the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals? Remember the one at Detroit?
When he scored 25 straight?
And 48 total in double overtime. And I sat here and said, but Rashid went haywire, remember? And they threw McDyess out of the game in the first, I think it was the first quarter. And all of a sudden, the super highway to the basket was just wide open for LeBron James to take it to the hole, take it to the hole, take it to the hole. And then at the end of the first overtime, LeBron had a wide open 15-foot jump shot to win the game and airballed it. I'm saying, really? That was the greatest game ever played? So, again, I'm going from 48 in that game to 50 times better. could he be twice as good? Maybe twice as good. I'll give you that. Just mentally.
And I'm saying to you, I'm just simply saying to you, you have no business being so literal. He's just saying I got better. Stop. Forget the 50. Forget the 50. Forget the 30. Forget the 20.
Saying, yeah,
he got
50
better.
times better.
Well, he said he's night and day.
I'm saying if you look at heart and head, you can't minimize it when you've been lamenting that was his biggest problem before he won the championship.
Agreed.
How do you spend 9 years questioning his heart and his head, and then when that's no longer a question, you act like it's not a big deal that there's an improvement there? Well, if it's not a big deal that there's an improvement there, why did you complain of 9 years?
You have backed me
which
into
one
a
is
corner. So I have to point out again,
Oh, boy.
I still think that the best chance my Spurs have, close games against LeBron James. I still am not sure I personally trust heart or head in a closing moment situation, such as Game 2 of the previous round. He had the 2 big uncharacteristic turnover passes. I'm just saying that's the only way to beat this guy who's now 50 times better, is that
Skip.
I still wonder about that close the deal gene.
We're not drawing comparisons here because, as far as I'm concerned, there is no comparison with anybody in Michael Jordan. But one of my favorite all-time commercials is Michael Jordan in a car driving to the United Center with nothing but a voiceover. All you hear is his voice while you see him driving, and he's chronicling all the failures he's had in his career and his life. And then the screen goes black, and he says, "That is why I succeed." My point is, no matter who it is, you go through failures. It's life. Even you, the great Skip Bayless, has failed. I mean, some would make the argument you fail every single day going up against me. I'm not going to say that because I'm a humble soul. I'm a humble soul. But some would say you fail every day going up against me, Skip. The point that I'm trying to make to you is simple. It's simple. You know, I'm a humble soul. I would never say such a thing. But I'm just trying to tell you that these kind of things happen, Skip.
It would have taken a 20-minute Michael Jordan commercial driving to the United Center to chronicle all of his walk-off shots.
You're being disrespectful.
No, I'm not.
You're being disrespectful.
You're being
being disrespectful. All I'm saying is my last point is reiterating the other point that I made. You spent 9 years complaining about the heart and the head. Okay, and then he overcomes the heart and the head issue. All right, and now you're saying it's not that big of a deal that it's been overcome. Which one is it? I mean, he hit a game-winning shot the other day. You were crying for a buzzer beater for 9 years. He finally gives you one, and you said, "Damn, it took you so long." You know what I mean?
Gentlemen,
I mean, it's never enough, Skip.
We got to move on.
It's never enough.
But I agree with you, Stephen A. He is definitely a different player than from
He's
back
50
in
times better. I love
2007.
You know what?
He
I think
is
he's
a
100
different
times
player.
better.